Good morning. My name is Bob Coughlin, and on behalf of the MassBio Board of Directors and staff, welcome to the 2017 MassBio Annual Meeting. The Massachusetts Supercluster is home to more than 63,000 biopharma employees, 25 million square feet of lab space, and companies with 1,600 drug candidates in the pipeline. Together, we are developing the breakthrough scientific advancements that will ultimately lead to the treatment and cures that patients across the world need and deserve. Over the next 2 days, you're going to be asked to consider and discuss some of the most pressing challenges and opportunities facing the life sciences industry today. From this afternoon's perspective in New Funding Partnering Environment Breakout, to tomorrow morning's CNS panel, and everything in between. I'm asking each and every one of you to be active participants in the programming. Share your experiences. Question the panelists. Connect with each other. We've got a lot to discuss. This is an exciting time for our industry, but it is also a time of quite a bit of uncertainty. Many proposed policies coming from Washington this year would have an outsized negative impact on our industry. In just the last 3 months, we've seen a refugee and immigration executive order that threatens the sustainability and growth of the life sciences industry in Massachusetts and throughout the United States, threatening scientific discovery. We've seen debate on legislation that would repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, a proposal that would put half a million Massachusetts residents at risk of losing their health insurance, blow a $2 billion hole in the state budget, and threaten the state's first-in-the-nation commitment to universal health care coverage. And while all of this may have just failed in Congress last week, the broader issues of health coverage, access, and cost remain at the forefront of federal and state policy debates. Proposed cuts to the National Institutes of Health that would be devastating for Massachusetts medical, educational, biotech, and healthcare institutions who are the leaders in developing life-saving therapies and technologies. We've also heard more about the continuing discussion around drug costs and price transparency, both at the state and federal level. These proposals would stifle investment in research, jeopardizing the discovery of the next generations of treatment, and harm patients in a very, very real way. Geez, this is kind of a depressing start, isn't it, folks? I'm going to run off, take a quick hour of therapy, and come back, all right? That's when I go off script. I apologize, team. I'm proud to say that MassBio has stood up and spoke out against every one of these proposals, and we will continue to advocate for what's right for our industry and, more importantly, what's right for the patients of the world. And yet, even with ongoing uncertainty in Washington, there's one thing that we can be certain of. Massachusetts policymakers will continue to aggressively explore new ways to transform the healthcare system with a focus on cost control. Just as healthcare reform in Massachusetts was the template for the Affordable Care Act, we can expect new ideas, birthed in Massachusetts to be debated in other states and in D.C. I can promise you that MassBio will be at the table to ensure any policies are fair to our industry and to the patients that we all work for. MassBio and its member organizations are committed to being part of a future where patients have access to the innovative treatments and therapies that they need. Our companies have embraced value-based contracting and alternative payment models, and in many cases are actively working with Massachusetts insurers to ensure patients are only paying for the value a medicine provides. We continue to advocate for national policy changes to accelerate the approval of generics which is the system's mechanism to lower costs over time. These are dialogues that have the potential to truly move the needle and help shape a healthcare system for today and into the future. There's no doubt that Massachusetts is unique, with many of the health insurers, providers, and innovators headquartered here. There's a unique opportunity to collaborate and develop best practices for the future of healthcare. I'm proud to say that MassBio is taking the lead in one important area of value-based contracting. MassBio, along with the Massachusetts Association of Health Plans and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, has partnered with the Network for Excellence in Innovation, known as NEHI, to bring together representatives of Massachusetts biopharmaceutical companies and the health insurance industry to discuss the potential for testing value-based contracting right here in Massachusetts. Our state is the perfect testing grounds for innovative payment mechanisms such as value-based contract, and this is a critical time for this discussion as important new treatments and cures are in development in Massachusetts laboratories as we sit here. If the recent past is any indication, many innovative new drugs will enter the market at high initial prices. The question is, how can we ensure that patients have access to these life-changing cures and treatments, at the same time protecting the industry's future ability to innovate? The result of this meeting that we've had, a white paper was just released last week by NEHI, we'll make that available to all of you, that outlines several goals for discussion and collaboration among Massachusetts health insurers and biopharmaceutical firms. This is very exciting. The results include disseminating best practices of lessons learned about value-based contracts as they have been executed to date in Massachusetts and across the country, including the benefits and limitations of such contracts. Also, communicating with the public and with state policymakers. You're hearing it here this morning. You're going to hear more about it today and tomorrow. We've got to communicate with the public and state policymakers to demonstrate the potential role of value-based contracts and other novel arrangements between payers and innovators to achieve superior health for patients and making the growth of health costs more sustainable over time, and identifying strategies that all stakeholders, including state government, might undertake to streamline and reduce the cost of designing, executing, and monitoring value-based contracts. You know, accomplishing these goals is no easy task, but they will begin to create a roadmap for Massachusetts to lead the way and ensure patients access to novel therapies, maintain the stability and affordable of health insurance coverage in the state, and sustain a vibrant and innovative life science sector. I'd encourage you all to read the white paper and help us think about how to drive this issue forward by visiting massbio.org #news. All right, that's where it's all going to fall, so please visit it. It's our way of driving traffic to our website. I'm proud to represent companies, researchers, and executives who have lined up to be part of this solution, committed to our shared mission to rid the world of disease and save lives. And you know, what we do, ladies and gentlemen, is save lives. Let's think about that and let that guide our discussion today and tomorrow. I think you're going to enjoy what we have planned. But before we go any further, I'd like to thank our event sponsors for their support. How about a big thank you to Fisher Scientific, Catalent, Alexandria Real Estate, Pfizer Center One, Bayer, Coriolis, Nutter, Sanofi Genzyme, Biogen, Amgen, Shire, Voice and Life Sciences Consulting, Radius Health. How about a big round of applause for those sponsors? We'd also like to thank our exhibitors outside. Please take a minute to visit these folks during the break today. We have TriNet, Cardinal Health, Mass Development, ISPE, Massachusetts Life Sciences Center, the Kentucky Turnpike, and also we want to thank Snow Companies for sponsoring our patient story segment. Throughout the day, you'll hear from patient advocacy ambassadors selected by Snow Companies to share their journeys in patient advocacy. It's so important that we keep the patients in the middle of all of this discussion. Sometimes I feel like saying policy, smolicy. What about the patients? And that's exactly why we do what we do, to help sick people. So let's not lose sight of that fact. You know, if you're on Twitter today, please join the conversation online using the hashtag MassBioAM17. Everyone get that? Hashtag MassBio17. We'd also like to encourage you to take a look at our hashtag patient-driven campaign, which is an online effort to aggregate the motivation of all of you who work in our industry. And please make sure to share the reason that all of you are patient-driven. And also a few housekeeping items. This morning and this afternoon, we'll have 3 concurrent tracks of programs. The Better Business track will be taking place down the hall here in the Skyline rooms. The Trends in Science sessions, sponsored by our friends at Coughlin, will be held 1 level down in the Longfellow rooms, right down the stairs over there. And our newest track, Convergence, will be in the Parkview room, which you have to walk through the lobby to the East Tower, go up the stairs in the Parkview rooms, all the way down that end. It has a beautiful view of the Charles River. You'll love it. And if you have any questions about what's happening anywhere, look for one of the MassBio team members. They're staffed everywhere. They'll have the staff name tags on. They can help point you in any direction that you need. So feel free to lean on the MassBio team. And I want to thank the MassBio team and applause for them now, because you guys have done an amazing job. Do you know, this year we have a record amount of sponsorship and a record amount of registrants for our annual meeting. So thank you to all of you, and thank you to the team for that. And make sure that you make your way back here before noon, as we have a full program for our annual awards lunch. I'm so excited. We are really excited to have Governor Charlie Baker here with us this afternoon, and we are very confident that you're really going to enjoy his remarks today. I'm not trying to tease it out too much. There's a lot of important people coming. There'll be a lot of press. It's going to be exciting, because this administration is committed to making sure that Massachusetts over the next decade continues to be the best place in the world for innovation. And when I say that, I also want to acknowledge my colleagues from Kentucky and Indiana, Life Sciences Trade Associations. How about you guys give us a wave? We love our friends across the country. This isn't competition. All the clusters in the United States of America are trying to help sick people. So thanks for joining us, folks. And finally, you don't want to miss the networking reception this afternoon, sponsored by our friends at Alexandria Real Estate. Not only are they MassBio's wonderful landlord, but they're helping to shape and grow our industry in Cambridge and beyond. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the moments you've all been waiting for. I'd like to invite our board chair, Abby Selnick, a chairwoman of the MassBio Board of Directors, to stage for a few remarks, and then we will get underway with our annual election. Abby?
So I just, before I get started, want to just take a second to give a special thanks to Bob. His endless energy, his incredible leadership, his enthusiasm, his sense of humor, it makes what we do really enjoyable and really a lot of fun. So thank you, Bob. So good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Every year, this meeting becomes really more exciting and more important. We get to hear how the new technologies that our companies and academic institutions are developing that are changing the lives of patients. We also remind each other that what we do is a team sport. We can't do this alone. We have to work as a collective group of stakeholders to make the Massachusetts Biotechnology Cluster better every year. While the last 2 months have been unprecedented when it comes to policy, one bright thing that we have seen is how powerful collective advocacy can be when a diverse group of stakeholders come together with a common mission. We have a very long and bumpy road ahead of us, and we have to navigate issues such as immigration, FDA regulation, pricing, and NIH funding for our academic institutions and innovators. So now more than ever, we need to work together as partners. We need to have our partners in government close with us and be creative, dedicated, and very, very importantly, involved. We continue to emphasize engagement as the #1 tool that we all have at hand that can really make a difference. We need everyone engaged as we consider some of the key challenges for 2017, but also as we celebrate our key achievements and opportunities. With this in mind, I want to remind us all about how amazing this community really is. In the past 10 years, R&D employment in the Commonwealth has increased by 37%. Biomanufacturing has grown by 33% since 2006. As Bob had mentioned, we employ more than 63,000 people with an average salary of about $147,000 per year. And since 2007, we have added over 9 million square feet of commercial laboratory space. And believe it or not, the new startups still can't find space. So this is amazing. With this amazing growth and maturation of our industry, we must continue to be focused on growing and developing our truly unique workforce. Ahead of us, we see a growing need for talent at all levels and of all types of subject matter experts. We know that diversity is front and center in ensuring that we will have the most productive and innovative life sciences workforce in the world. Today, there's a heightened awareness regarding challenges facing people who have immigrated to work in the U.S., and we feel the need to preserve a workforce with a diverse way of thinking, different philosophies on training, and a spectrum of cultures that are at the core of enabling innovation. Last year, we announced that MassBio's commitment to diversity would kick off with a focus on gender diversity, and we are continuing to focus on this area this year. Some of our early initiatives have really taken root, and we see a lot of groups combining their efforts to synergize and accelerate change. One of the most important aspects of this year's Gender Diversity Project is work that we have done with Liftstream to help us better understand not only issues with hiring and placement of women at the executive level, but at all levels, and what drives women to stay in companies and take the risk to be recognized as leaders. We conducted a survey with over 1,000 responses. When Liftstream cut the data to focus on companies in Massachusetts, we had 618 responses from 70 different companies. 239 men, 379 women responded, and 20 people who had left the life sciences sector. The data from the survey was so rich that we made a decision to delay the publication of the study until more analysis could be completed. However, today, I can share some messages that we can take home to consider until the final report is published. Some of the very interesting observations are as follows. The majority of people surveyed say that they search for diverse teams to work with. And this was a response given by 81% of the men surveyed and 72% of the women surveyed. Gender of a person's manager matters. Women have said that when they're managed by women, they report that they're more ambitious about achieving their career objectives, and that women who have female managers tend to be more positive and trusting that a company is making a real commitment to diversity. Having a diverse leadership team at the top is also recommended by women as a top recommendation for what companies can do to encourage women to participate. So seeing that diversity in the management team encourages women to take a chance with a company. Near the bottom of the list of recommendations to improve the chances of a woman participating, in other words, what not to do, was attempting to achieve a gender balance on the short list of candidates before hiring. And on the very bottom of the list was the idea of positive discrimination. Women don't want to be placed over a man without having the credential really being what's driving the placement. The problem does appear to get worse at a very critical mid-level of our executive force. Women at the SVP level are 4 times less positive about believing they can fulfill their ambitions than the women below or above them. So that's a critical place we need to focus. Nearly 50% of the companies surveyed said they do not know why women leave their organizations. However, if they have an active diversity program, they're 15% more likely to understand. And finally, observation that a greater proportion of women compared to men leave a company because they believe that the culture does not align with their values. There's more analysis ongoing, and we'll have a full report soon. But what is clear is that this is a very complex issue. And if we can better understand in the context of gender, this may help us with more comprehensive understanding of how to increase overall diversity of our local life sciences companies. It has been said that information is power. And there's something that this industry is really, really good at, is taking very complex data and turning it into powerful information. As we learn more, engage more, and partner more, we can keep this amazing ecosystem moving forward. The future is very bright. Groundbreaking innovations for patients, like the progress being made with technologies such as CRISPR and cell therapies, will change the lives of patients and keep our biotech cluster growing and positioned as the best place in the world for innovation in the life sciences. So thank you, and now I'll invite Bob back up so we can move forward with elections.
How about a big round of applause for our chairman? In Massachusetts, we don't say that anyone's the right guy for the job. We say you're the right person for the job, and we couldn't have anyone better at the helm than you, Madam Chair. So thank you for that. And now, one purpose of our annual meeting is to conduct some important association business while we have a large number of members present. So we will tend to some business now and then continue with the program. Chairwoman Selnecker will put into nomination our Board of Directors slate for the following year, and then we will take a vote.
So thank you, Bob. I put forward this slate of the 2017-2018 MassBio Board of Directors. I move to place these names into nomination. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. A motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The names have been placed into nomination. I'd also like to approve the 2017-2018 MassBio Board of Directors listed here. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations to the Board of Directors, especially our new directors, Ed Kay from Sarepta, and I'm going to ask you to stand as I call your names. Ed Kay from Sarepta, Paige Mahoney from Boehringer Ingelheim, who can't be here, and Paul McKenzie from Biogen, who can't be here, John Dunlap from Adgen, Pam Rondawa from Empirico, Chandra Ramanathan from Bio, Jason Cole from Bluebird Bio, Lisa Adler from Shire, and Bill Sibbald from Sanofi Genzyme. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Welcome to our new board members, and congratulations to the board. We truly appreciate the time and energy that you devote to MassBio and our cluster. We acknowledge that the pay is not great, but we appreciate all that you do. How about if all of our board of directors could stand and be acknowledged? How about a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the members of the MassBio board. These are the leaders of the best supercluster in the world.